Okay, this is card number 2, flight number 7.
And we're doing asymmetric tuck straight and 360 asymmetrics. Okay, so deflation now. So just go round, just gentle, lean on the brakes, control it back out and fly away.
Asymmetric tucks are the most common deflations you're going to get, so they're nothing to worry about, as long as you're quick to respond and you don't overreact to them.
So now I'm going to demonstrate how safe a glider can be, even with sort of 40–50% of the wing gone. So I'm going to deflate it and hold it and keep flying straight, just with weight shift, no brakes. See my brakes in the keepers? So big deflation, weight shift away, a little bit of brake to start. Okay, now this is just weight shift, okay? So I've got, well, 45% of the wing gone and a little bit of weight shift, not much. See, no brake at all. I've got my left bum cheek is down and it's flying straight, nothing to worry about. Okay, so let go and a quick pump, firm pump, and it's out. Quite often, if you get a big deflation and you're quick to weight shift away and a little bit of opposite brake, then there's no problem at all. Even another one is if I were to do a big deflation and let it go. Can you imagine having a big deflation and it going around 360 and not coming out? So here we go, big deflation, holding it on. Okay, I'm leaning in, round I go, 360, and let go of it. And the energy pops me right out. Climb out, break the dive gently, and out it comes. So you can see with a nice sort of 1–2 glider, it should really recover and stay positive after a 360 deflation and holding it on. Now let's do asymmetrics with speed bar and asymmetrics dynamic. See if we can get the glider to be a bit more violent, so that we have to be a bit more sensitive and skilled in recovery. Let's do a speed bar asymmetric collapse. So we put the speed on, first stage, and then we go to second stage, nice and progressive. Okay, good. So we balance it out at full speed. You can hear the wind noise obviously going up. You can see my pulley blocks coming down. So we're now traveling at full speed. So what I'm going to do is asymmetric tuck one side. Remember, as soon as the tuck comes on, I want to off the speed system. So ready? But big deflation, off the speed system. Gently pull on my left brake, roll back round to my left, settle it down on a good course, and then pump out whatever's left, okay? Don't make the mistake of pumping too hard and too violently whilst it's turning. Get a nice smooth recovery first. Right, so let's take that a stage further. Let's say we're flying in a thermal, we've been spat out, big dive, we haven't broken the dive properly, and we have a big collapse. Now to create that, again, we're gonna do a dynamic one. So we're gonna brake, let go, and then as it dives, deflate. Let's see what happens there. So we're gonna brake, good, let go, and pull on the dive. Oh, big deflation, round it goes. Let it go 360, pull it out gently, and it's out already before the 360 is finished, and we're stopped. So that's quite nice. It's nothing to panic about. Big deflation, don't worry. Use it, enjoy it. We're just cruising out now. I'm going to do a flight on the Mantra M3. So I'm going to do an asymmetric collapse. This is obviously going to be faster because it's a sportier wing and there's more energy, but the energy is in the turn, and that's positive because it'll help us pull it out as well. So here we go. I'm grabbing half of it, coast is clear. Deflate, goes round, 90. I just monitor the brake, let it continue round, and pull out at about 180 degrees, just smooth, and steady, because that's what you do with a high performance wing. You keep it smooth. You don't do any stabbing hard turns because they're quite nasty. It's like driving a sports car. You've got to be smooth with your steering wheel. Right, I'm just going to do an asymmetric tuck again, just to demonstrate the turn and the amount of outside brake needed to control it. So when you have a deflation and it takes you slightly by surprise, roll yourself round, get it on an even bank, settle it down, and then pump it out. If it's all cool, you can pump it out during the rotation, but only once you've got everything in control. Don't be in a flap and pump, pump, pump furiously, because that's not good. So here, here's a small deflation. So in it goes, go round. We've got a little bit of pressure on the outside, and as I turn round, the pressure inflates the inside, inflates the deflated side. Nothing to worry about. You don't have to slam it into an opposite brake. You don't have to do anything like that. Just keep it cool. Once you've got the pressure and you're in a turn, everything's great. And you just do a gentle pump, okay? Not too much, not too little. So I'll demonstrate again. Deflate, okay, I'm going round. I'm now balanced in my turn here. And then as I'm turning, gentle pump, and it all comes out. So that's the key. It's not frantic, it's whatever's needed. I think people worry, you know, because they get shocked by big asymmetric collapses, they panic and overreact. That's the thing, don't overreact. If in doubt, put your hands up and it gets to a balanced flight or gets to something that you can recognize and recover from it. But there's no need to frantically pump or anything like that. It's just smooth, you roll onto a safe course and then you correct the problem. If you've got lots of space or you're in a thermal and you have a collapse, let's say on the outside, then just keep the turn on and just pump it out and keep flying. The key is prioritization. You've got to prioritize what is more important, whether it's getting the deflation out or getting your course right, then getting the deflation out. You've just got to be aware, and whatever happens, you always look at the ground. So if you have a big problem, collapse in a turn or a cravat or whatever, you always look at your problem, look at your ground, look at your options. That's the key. Don't be fixated on this little thing above you. So now I'm going to do an asymmetric tuck and I'm going to keep this glider flying straight. Okay, so I'm going to deflate it. Boom, here it goes, 50% sort of, 45. Little bit of opposite weight shift. Not much opposite brake you can see, and the glider flies straight. I sometimes do this if I have to land on a windy hill or a hillside or a takeoff, because if you come down like that, when you touch down, you can use the deflated side to touch you into the takeoff. Anyway, I think I'm there now. So straight, firm pump, and out it comes. Okay, now remember with the beginner glider, we broke the glider a little bit, let it dive, and then did an asymmetric collapse. Well, you know, if you were an experienced pilot flying this, you wouldn't let it dive and collapse, you'd be on the brakes. So it's not quite real, but it does highlight how a big deflation can still be controlled. So I'm going to do it. I'm just going to go a little bit to the right of the cameraman because I don't want to fly into them. It's not very sociable. Okay, so here I go. I'm just going to gently brake and then put an asymmetric tuck on the dive. So it's just gently diving now. So deflate, round I go. Now I'm going to let it go round. Got a little bit of brake on, and round I go. And I'm just going to gently ease on the outside brake and on the weight shift, and it settles down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is speed bar asymmetric collapse. Again, this is obviously more power, more energy, but I'm just going to gently bleed that energy out. So deflate, off the speed system, gently pull on the left brake, roll it out, and it settles down, even though the deflation can be quite big. But it's just not overreacting. That's the real key, and feeling that pressure is beautiful. And if you don't feel the pressure, keep your hands up till it starts to dive and then feel the pressure again. That's what it's all about. Don't ever worry about deflations, they're not a problem. They are when you overreact, slam on the opposite brake and spin. They're not if you don't. It's the right amount of pressure at the right time. But don't overreact.